Welcome to lesson 7.14, and today's question is how are fractions converted to decimals? There's a way that we do that. There's a mathematical way that we do that. We don't just guess, although that would make it much more simpler for much simpler for us. That was easy for me to say, wasn't it? But yeah, we're going to be working on converting fractions to decimals today. But before we get to that, we're going to do some review. I've got two problems for you. I will just write them. You can do however you would like. I know that some of you are the rectangular section, some of you are expanded notation, and some of you are digit by digit. I don't care how you do it. What I do care is that you find a way that works for you, that you are able to replicate every time, so that you are able to get the correct answer. Okay, so whatever method you choose, good. Just make sure you're able to replicate it every time, because eventually we might get to larger numbers, so just be ready for that. Okay, so first we're going to talk about, not talk about, but the first problem is 36.41 divided by 5. And then the second problem we have is 207.9, and we're going to divide that one by 6. Okay, so it'll take some time. Work these problems, and then when you're done, restart the video, check and see how you did. Here we go. Let's work on this first problem. Now I'm a step digit by digit guy, so if you are a expanded notation or rectangular section person, that's fine. Your problem's going to look different than mine, but your answer should be exactly the same. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, boys and girls, is I'm going to put that decimal point right on top of the decimal point so I don't forget, because I got to be honest with you, when I was first learning how to do this, there were lots of times where I just divided and I didn't put any decimal points and I got the problem wrong. The rest of my math is right, but because I didn't put a decimal point, the problem was wrong. All right, so how many 5s into 3? That's a 0. How many 5s into 36? Looking at that whole number now, that's going to be 7. Put answer on top, multiply. 7 times 5 is 35. Put answer on the bottom. Then I'm going to subtract. I got 1, and now I'm going to bring down my 4. So now we start again. How many 5s in 14? Well, if I skip count by 5s, 5, 10, 15. 15 is too big, so it's going to have to be 10. So that's 2. Put answer on top, multiply, put answer on bottom. Now we're going to subtract. 4 less 0 is 4. 1 less 0, 1 is 1, is 0. So we don't have to worry about that. And then we're going to bring down our next number, which is 1. Whenever we bring down the next number, we have to start again. How many 5s in 41? Well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 45 is too big. It's got to be 40. And that was 8 5s. Multiply, put answer on bottom. 40, subtract. 1. This is 0. Now, because we have a decimal, we cannot have a remainder. We have to go until we terminate the number. So we're going to add a 0 here. And we're going to bring that down. And then we start. How many 5s in 10? Well, 5, 10. That's 2. Put answer on top, multiply, put answer on bottom, subtract. Now see how we got to the double zeros? That means the number's terminated and we are done. So the answer would be 7.282. All right, let's look at problem number 2, review problem number 2. Let's do this one in red because we can. First thing I'm going to do before I forget, I'm going to put that decimal point right above the decimal point. Okay, we can't put 6 into 2, so then we have to look at 6 into 20, and that's going to be 6, 12, 18, 24. 24 is too big, so it's got to be 18. Put answer on top, multiply. 3 times 6 is 18. We're going to subtract. 10 less 2. 10 less 8 is 2. 1 less 1 is 0. We're going to bring down the next number, which is 7. Okay, we just talked about 24. 30 is going to be too big, so it's going to be a 4 right there. Okay, multiply that out. That's 24. Now we're going to subtract. We've got 3. We've got 0. And let's bring down that 9. Okay, how many 6s in 39? Well, hopefully you know that 6 times 6 is 36, 6 times 7 is 42. That's too big, so we're going to have to go with the 6. Let's put the 6 here, multiply that, 36, subtract 3, 0. And again, because we have the decimal, we cannot have a remainder, so we got to make sure it terminates. So we're going to add 0, bring it down, and we're going to keep doing that until we get the double 0 to terminate. How many 6's in 30? Well, that's 5. 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract 0, 0. We have termination here. So our answer is 34 and 65 hundredths, or 34.65. Now again, fifth graders, whatever way you did it, it doesn't matter. As long as when you finished, you had this response and you had this response. All right, so that's it for video 1. Video 2, we're going to start looking and we're going to start converting fractions to decimals.